Welcome back to Spartan from the Inside. This is episode number 15. Crazy as it sounds, we've done 15 of these already. This is a special edition, a version of this, because this is not a video as it relates to our normal Spartan or DECA or Tough Mudder or trail event. This is an event that is very near and dear to all of us for various reasons. But before we get into that, I'm joined by Molly Stambovsky and Dan Welch. Molly is with Payne Schwartz Partners and one of the co-directors or event producers for Hope for the Warriors and the event that we're going to talk about. And then Dan Welch, I think anybody watching this knows Dan, legend at Spartan. Dan's been around Spartan for what, going in your 12th year, right? So
I've completed 11.
Completed 11, so into 12. So been around Spartan for a long time. So and been part of this event from the beginning as well. So so first and foremost, I think it's important that we really have to identify what we're going to talk about, right? Because we're not talking about a Spartan race. We're not talking about a Tough Mudder. We're not talking about a DECA. We are talking about the Hope for the Warriors event. And Molly, can you fill everybody in on what this event is and what it's about?
Yeah, of course. So this is a 5K Spartan race. This is our 4th year hosting it. It is going to be on Governor's Island, and essentially we call it No Obstacles because the goal here is that we are cutting down any barriers and obstacles that stand in the way of our military community getting the support that they need. The race is kind of born out of my firm, Payne Schwartz Partners, and our desire to help support Hope for the Warriors. Hope, for those who wouldn't know, is a national nonprofit that their mission is to provide services and support for military men, women, families, including everything from financial support, physical and mental wellness, and really just building a community around them. Yeah. So that's kind of how it was formed and why we plan it. Sure.
So yeah, I think that's a great start, right? That's a great introduction to the explanation of why we're here. So how did Hope get started? How did that whole thing come about to begin with?
So Hope was born actually in, I believe, 2006 by military families who were seeing firsthand their loved ones and the type of support that they needed. And like I said, it spans everything from financial support to education to overall holistic well-being. And I think one of the things that really stood out to us is the military men and women and their families love to be a part of a community. They love to get out there and compete and participate in sporting events. And we kind of saw this unique opportunity to partner with Spartan to give them something to do.
Yeah, and it's interesting that, you know, it is obviously the event is no obstacles, right? And yet we go out there and we build these obstacles, which makes it amazing because it adds to the challenge. It's not your traditional 5K that people would be expecting, right? So we know what Hope is. We know how it got started. So you actually work for Payne Schwartz Partners, right? So who is Payne Schwartz Partners? Who is that?
So we are a middle market private equity firm. We invest in sustainable food chain. One of our core themes that we look to invest in is health and wellness. So that could be something like ProMix or Suja, which are brands I think a lot of people recognize. And we partner with them to kind of put this event on as well.
Nice. I'm bringing a cooler that I can travel with home. We left way too much Suja there last year. Yeah. So not let that happen again. So, so awesome. So how can people get involved in this that are learning about this from watching this video? Obviously, we're getting close to the event date, right? So if somebody wanted to get involved, how can they get involved? What's the best way for somebody to be involved in this?
So we have an event website dedicated specifically to no obstacles, which hopefully we can share a link with this video.
Yep.
And it's a very user-friendly website. There's a button for donating. There's a button for signing up for the race. People can sign up day of. We'll have waivers on hand. So, and if you don't want to participate, you just want to volunteer, I'm always looking for people to help behind the scenes too.
Yeah, I think volunteering is as critical to an event as any other part of the event, right? We know that from our events, and we know that from this event. I mean, volunteers are what make these things happen, really, at the end of the day. And again, I think it's super important. And we will post a link when we share this video out so that everyone has that. But again, if you can't make it to the event and you want to still make a donation to the organization, that's as welcome as well. So I think before we get into the other parts of this, I think it's also important, like if you're, close enough to New York and the Manhattan area, right, and the outlying areas, and you want to get out to this event, it is a Friday morning event on 10/10. I drill that into my own head because for whatever reason, I'm constantly thinking it's a Saturday event, knowing it's not, never has been. But it is on 10/10, 2025, a Friday morning. So again, plan accordingly. We'll talk a little bit about logistics here in just a few minutes. So before we shift into the next sections of this, I wanted to talk a minute with Dan Welch as well, and let Dan kind of explain Spartan's involvement in this, right? How is Spartan involved in this, and what that consists of?
So yeah, I mean, this is our 4th year. So this coming back to the island, our involvement started off as simple as, can you do this? And the first year we produced it, we did it. We have a quote unquote special events kit that's separate to our outdoor kits that we've been able to bolster over the years to do these kind of one-off events. And it's grown year after year, and we've added different obstacles. Course has changed over the years. Again, this year, I'm sure you're gonna talk about it, but course will change again this year, and we'll be able to we're bringing on different obstacles for the first time. Logistically, it's definitely a one-off experience because we have to take the ferry over, including the machines to build, and then the supplies have to be ferried over. So logistics-wise, it is definitely a unique and one-off event, and something that we look forward to doing every year. Yeah,
it's fun. And this will be my 3rd year doing this, and again, I've enjoyed it immensely. So again, it's very near and dear to my heart as well, being a veteran, and love being involved with any organizations or any of these events that speak to or provide assistance to that community, because it is a very under-assisted community as we see it globally at this point. So let's talk quickly about the venue, right? Because I think that's probably one of the most unique parts of this, right? Yeah. It's on Governor's Island. And I actually did a little research on Governor's Island, because the more I started thinking about doing this video, the less I realized I knew about Governor's Island, other than just the layout of the island, which I know very well. So Governor's Island, south end of Manhattan. And I think Molly said earlier, the only way to get there is by ferry, right? You have to get on a ferry to get to this event. There's just no options, unless you have your own boat and can figure out a place to dock it there. Then that's your only other choice. But Fort Carson. Now, we just got off a phone call about Fort Carson, so here I'm talking about Fort Carson. Governor's Island. It actually started out as a military base and an old fort, and became a Confederate prison, which I had no idea that was the case, right? And then didn't open to the public until 2006. So I thought that was pretty unique, right? It's one of the oldest U.S. military bases. And the note in here that I was reading is, it's truly a one-of-a-kind venue, right? It's a very, very cool setting. The one thing I think is most unique about this location is, no matter which way we run the course, right, you're going to see the Manhattan skyline, you're going to see the Jersey skyline, you're going to see the Statue of Liberty, you're going to see the Verrazano Straits Bridge, you're going to see the Brooklyn skyline, and then you're going to see everything on the interior of Governor's Island, which there's not many venues we can say we do anything at that you get that type of scenery, so to speak, when it comes to running a 5K race anywhere, right? So, Molly, thinking about race day, people are going to show up, right? We already talked about the ferry, so you got to allow for time for that. We'll talk about some logistics here in a minute. What's the vibe like on race day for this event when they get to the island?
So it's obviously fun. We have, music, we have swag, we have giveaways and good vendors, but it's also really impactful. I think, we have speakers come, including Robin Kelleher, who's the CEO of Hope. We have military veterans who have worked with Hope and have received support from Hope. And they come and can explain, their story and their side of what Hope can do for them. Obviously, one of the reasons we do this is to raise money, but it's also to raise awareness of how underserved this community is. So I think that's one of the things that people might find a bit surprising, is that obviously it's fun, it's challenging, it's all these things, but it's also really impactful to be there and to hear their stories.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a very impactful environment, and there's a lot of energy there, right? Yeah. There's so many different people, and like you said, you've got some amazing partners and vendors that are supportive of this event, and it's a very neat, small, quaint festival space, right? That you get off the ferry, it's a short walk down the road over to this area that we're going to be set up in. But once you get there, there's just a lot going on, right? And again, super engaging, which is very important from this perspective, like to have that engagement for people and things to do, right? And so the other cool thing is like when you come in, you'll see the start line, you'll see some obstacles, some very big obstacles, like right there in the center of that festival space. And then also know that there's going to be some surprises this year that we have not divulged from an obstacle perspective, that we will definitely see some good responses from on race day out there. So what's the flow like when they get off the ferry? They're going to come to festival. What's the first thing they're going to need to do when they get there?
Yeah, so once they get off the ferry, as you mentioned, it's a little bit of a walk. It's the same as a normal Spartan race in terms of check-in. You get your bib. And then you grab some swag, you get some protein from ProMix, you can get a cold pressed juice from Suja. We'll have New York Stretch on site to, stretch people out ahead of time. You mingle with everybody else that's going to be there. You get to meet some of the veterans that'll be there. And then you get pumped for the race. There's music, and like you said, there's a ton of energy, and everybody's just excited to be there. So,
yeah, and I think it's also important to note that, I mean, this isn't like a lot of 5Ks when you go out and about and do things, right? Like it seems like the purpose of the event is to get everybody there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and boom, race starts at 7 and you're done by 7:45. And this isn't that way, right? Like this event doesn't even start that early, right? So
no,
there's time.
The earliest ferry to Governor's Island is at 7.
Right.
So we don't actually start registration until about 9. And then opening ceremonies 10. The race would start shortly thereafter. But opening ceremony, as I mentioned, we have some speakers. We have the color guard that's there. We'll have the national anthem. We have we'll have ProMix lead us in a stretch. So it'll there's no rushing through the day. It's certainly meant to really gain that traction of what we're there for. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I also want to mention too, that something we incorporated last year for the first time and are bringing it back this year is, again, this obviously the intention or the intent of this event is much bigger than the competitiveness of a couple people. But you can't put a 5K on and not have a group of people be competitive, right? That's just part of it, right?
Yeah.
And so for those interested, right, we do time this event, right? So
we do have prizes for our top winners.
There's prizes, and there's bragging rights, and there's a little bit of trash talking going on. I heard some last year. And so, yeah, just know if you want to get out there and really get after it, there's a group of people there that are willing to get after it with you, and know that we will be timing that event as well. So, I think, again, just talking about the course, we talked about kind of what people can expect to see when they're running the 5K. We'll have, 7 or so obstacles there, depending on how it works out. But we'll have some in that festival area, right, which are the big, really dramatic obstacles that are going to have a really high level presence and kind of that wow factor when people walk in, right? Also that wow factor for finishing, right? And so, and then about midway on the course, we'll have another section in the oval area on the island that will have a few more obstacles set up. So it kind of breaks up that 5K a little bit, which makes it interesting from the timing perspective, because you may be a fast runner, but some of these obstacles will catch you by surprise, right? And it may slow you down a little bit. So just be ready for that. Let's talk real quick about logistics, because I think that's probably the most important thing for this event for somebody coming as a participant. It is definitely for us because it requires a tremendous amount of planning to get everything that we need out onto the island by ferry. But just if I'm coming as a participant, right? I think it's important. Like, we can't stress this enough. You can't just drive to this event park and get out and walk over to the festival area. There's a little more to it. So what's Molly or Welch, either one, what's your number one pro tip for somebody coming out to this event if it's their first time to come race this thing?
I think it be early. Like I said, the ferries run every 30 minutes. So if you miss one, you're going to be waiting a little bit to get on the next one. And while we don't start first thing in the morning, we do want to make sure that we have plenty of time to get all of the registrants their bibs, get them set. And, you know, since so many people get off the same ferry, the line can take a little bit. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, I think the biggest one for me is be early to make sure you have time to actually decompress and get ready to run.
Yeah, I mean, and there's plenty of things to fill that time with, right? I mean, one, you can get a little warm-up run. There's plenty of things to do around there. But again, a lot of those partners will be set up and, you know, things will be happening. Yeah, so there's plenty of things to do to spend that time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think you're right. Be early. The ferry can make or break your morning if you're running behind. So I had a note in here to talk about weather, but I can't recall ever really having weather be a factor here. I think there is an opportunity. You know, I think, you know, one year I had it was a little misty and a little rainy early, and then it kind of cleared up. But I think in general, I think there's not a whole huge concern with weather, but I think just come prepared. It could be a little cooler early in the morning if you get there early, but it tends to warm up a little bit by the time this thing's wrapping. So, so if somebody's coming into the city, going to make a weekend out of this, they're going to come in Friday, maybe spend the night Friday night, Saturday. Obviously, there's no shortage of things to do. It's Manhattan, right? I mean, there's a little bit of everything. But again, you're very close to, you know, Freedom Tower, Battery Park, Hudson River waterfront, Highline. All of those things are relatively close. Any other thoughts? Any other things close by? I mean, you would recommend checking out? I see a note in here, but I was going to let you say it.
Yeah. So one of the places that we go to, that we also host at, is Delmonico's. It's famous. Yeah, it's a famous steakhouse in the city. It's only about 10 minutes from the ferry. So if you're extra hungry when you're done, you can head over there. But yeah, there's no shortage of things to do in the city. Also, you know, taking a stroll around Governor's Island itself, it's you know, as you mentioned earlier, Jason, it's just incredible. There's so much history there. So
yeah, if the weather's nice, man, the views from there, I mean, like I've got photos and drone pictures and things that are just amazing from the island, right, of everything around us. So that, and yeah, I can second Delmonico's. It's 10 out of 10 for sure. Yeah. It is the oldest steakhouse in the country too. So, I mean, you can at least say you've been there. Part of it. So let's talk about, we talked a minute ago about the festival area and the different vendors and partners, right? I like the word partners because they are partners in the event. You said Pro Mix and Suja. Anybody else we should be tracking on? Like anything else you want to talk about? Any other vendors you want to introduce in this?
So we have some amazing sponsors who come out every year, and they help us obviously do this, but also all this money goes to Hope. So Morrison Forster, Lions Magnus, they're some of our top, Kirkland and Ellis, Aiken Gump. You know, we also have vendors on island. So there's Taco Vista, there's Three's Brewing, there's Joe Coffee. They help us and they provide all the food and drink for the event. There's just so many incredible companies and people, and individuals that come out. So yeah, we have amazing partners that make this possible.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it just makes for a great environment when you're, either before the race or, or after the race, either way.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to have them. Any specific activations you're super excited to see, like from the Spartan side or from anything else?
I mean, I'm excited to know what the surprise is, but we're not going to tell. So, other than that, I personally like the Olympus because I think people look at it and think it's easy and think okay, this is going to be the easiest one. I'm going to get across. And it's not. And a lot of people don't make it. So I always enjoy kind of seeing that one.
Yeah, it's a very, visually, it's very deceptive.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. People just look at it. I remember the first year I was there, we were setting it up and people were coming in Saturday morning, or say, I said it Friday morning. And that it was right in the middle of festival. And they were, oh man, look, this would be a good one right here. And they would just get on to try it. They'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
No,
may need a couple practice runs on this before we get it going. Right. So, all right. So before we wrap this up, I think let's draw attention back to the fact that, if someone wants to sign up to participate, if someone wants to sign up to volunteer, or if someone wants to sign up or just to make a donation, right? What is the website to do that?
So it is, if you visit Hope for the Warriors, you will see an event section. You can click that and go to No Obstacles. That will take you there. We'll also include a link here. And there's easy buttons to follow: blue for donate or sponsor, red for sign up. And yeah, like I said, participants, volunteers, everybody's welcome. Spectators, it's a great event. It's fun to be a part of and incredibly impactful. So
yeah. And if you're thinking about it and you just want to show up on Friday morning, right? Just show up Friday morning. Jump on an early ferry. Yeah, jump on an early ferry and come over there, and we can get you signed up and get you a bib, and you'll be ready to run and participate like that as well. So, awesome. So, anything else you want to talk about as far as it relates to the event itself, or Hope itself, or Payne Schwartz themselves? Anything before we wrap this thing up?
I would just say one other thing that makes this race a bit unique is we actually have drill sergeants on course.
Yes,
so they motivate you to kind of get through these obstacles. And if for any reason you can't get through them, they are going to make sure that you are very good at your push-ups and your burpees by the end. So I want to make sure people are aware of that, because it can be a surprise and be a bit intimidating. But yes, definitely something that's unique, gives everybody a true taste of what it's like to be in the military. So.
Yes. For sure. It definitely is interesting. It's fun to watch some guys out there. They are very passionate about making sure there's accountability for completing an obstacle, right? And so that is awesome. Awesome. So, Molly, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us today. Welch, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on this call with us. You've been a part of the event from the very beginning. And excited to get back up to New York and do this thing again. It's going to be an even better event this year. And that's the one thing I say in the times that I've been there is, man, there's just a passion for knowing what we did well this year and knowing what we're going to do even better next year. And I think every year that I've been there, it's just been just a little bit better every year. And so I think glad to be able to draw some awareness to this and bring some attention to it as well from the Spartan side. Which love being a partner with you guys as well.
Yeah, amazing. We obviously could not do this without you guys. So thank you so much. Excited to see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see you soon. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.